Dumelang Sambanane. Hello, South Africa. A very warm welcome to your #1 youth current affairs show. Of course, Kubalalaga Expressions. This is definitely the place for you to air your views. I'm your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
Njengoko ke mbukeli izikolo sele zivuliwe si-expressions we were on the ground sijonga ke ingxaki ezixananazileyo ezikolweni. Owona mbuzo ke siwubuzayo kukuba ingaba izikolo zikarhulumente zikulungele na for the academic of 2023. Besikhona ke kwaThema nasePretoria. Masijonge okuqhubekileyo. Njengoko sele zivuliwe izikolo si-expressions we are on the ground looking at challenges abafundi abajamelene nazo. Namhlanje ke expressions sindwendwela isikolo iLifa Ifa Secondary School. Nalapho ke sibona ukubana zithe gqolo uxhaphaka iziganeko zodushe apho sibona abafundi besebenzisa iziyobisi nobundlobongela ke bukhona. Owona mbuzo ke ongundoqo kukuba ingaba are they ready for the new academic year njengoko kungu-2023? We are looking at finding solutions. Masingene ngaphakathi sive. Khawusixelele banzi about your role kwesi sikolo njengoko sibona ba kunengxubakaxaka ezenzekayo.
Yeah, size apha as public representatives, as councillors, and as part of the back to school program, where we actually make a determination on whether our schools are ready to proceed for the year. But what touched us is that looking at the previous matric results, Lifa Ifa High School did not perform very well. And we thought, let's come and hear from the principal and the school management on what are some of the challenges that would have made the school not to perform better. We had a cordial meeting with the principal where we were able to establish some of the challenges. Our intention as public representatives is to mobilize all other stakeholders to come and bring in an intervention into the school. Besizile nje namhlanje sizoxoxisana noprincipal nabotishara besikolo. Thina ke singamakhansela sisebenza ku-government. Firstly is to ensure that we contribute towards the academic performance of the school. So we'll bring in an academic enhancement program, particularly around maths, science and accounting. Secondly is to try and assist to revive the involvement yabantwana in sports, because you don't just come to school ufunde nje bese soyaphuma. So we want to revive sports in the school. But thirdly, we want to mobilize parents to take an active role on the affairs zabantwana insofar as their performance is concerned, and some of the things that the teachers are picking about the conduct of their own kids, so that the parents and the school together work hand in hand to ensure that abantwana they are doing very well. And lastly is to try and see how we can best mobilize stakeholders to give support into the infrastructure. You can see the school is dilapidating, it does require maintenance. So it's a combination of things that will try and bring support into the school.
Khawusixelele banzi ngesikolo sivile into yobana kune-challenges abafundi nani as educators enijamelene nazo. Khawusixelele banzi ngazo.
My school has got about 1,560 learners. About 800 of them, they come from the squatter camps. They come to school with their school bus. So as a school, we are trying to instill the culture of teaching and learning that was missing for the past years. But now, though we've got 53% pass, there's a challenge here at School of Kinstarism. We've got a challenge of less participation of parents due to the fact that most of the learners, they stay far. As a school, we are trying by all means to engage with the councillors around, the transport people, that when we've got parents meeting, the buses, they go and collect them so that we can see what to do. And then we've got also a challenge of non-attendance of classes by the learners, particularly our intervention classes. But as a school, we are trying by all means to ensure goodbye attender through engaging with the service providers to assist us in terms of transport. To date, I've got about 3 classes whereby 3 learners are sharing 2 chairs in one small table. And now we've partnered with TVET College around the corner, whereby they will be coming to school to try and fix the furniture that is amputated. I will say amputated because next to me I've got the squatter camp. They come, they cut the legs, the feet of the chairs. So our chairs are now 2-legged and 3-legged. But through the partnership that we've made with the TVET College, hopefully they will elevate the pressure that the department has in ours here with regards to furniture.
Ngoke mbukeli wami ndikunye nabafundi bilelifa secondary school niyaphila?
Siyaphila.
Nam ndiyaphila. Ndiyabona namhlanje into yokubana niye nafumana izihlangu as part of the back to school program. Inenza nizive njani loo nto?
I'm feeling good when I get some shoes from back to school. Ndijabulela.
Ujabulile. Uyathembisa ukuthi uzophasa?
Ndizophasa ndizozimisela.
Oku kuthini kuwe namhlanje njengoko ubusitsho into yobana isimo sakho besingamnandanga?
Ngijabule kakhulu ukuthi ngithole incathulo so khona ukuthi ngizofunda ngize la esikoleni everyday ngabe nabantwana abangibhulishayo ngizophasa.
So uthi uye wahlangana nebullying since ungafani nabanye abantwana izihlangu zakho. Oko bekwenza uzive njani?
Ingenza ngizive ngikwatile and frustrated and bekunokwata ukuthi maybe yabo ufuna ukulwa mara ngakwazi ukuzikhuza.
Mandize nakuwe uziva njani nawo ngumfundi njengoko undwendwelwe yi-back to school program?
Ngizizwa ngijabulile because sengizothola icathulo benginganazo solo benyana kubomakhelwane yoboleka icathulo bangiboleka.
Sisinonhlanhla siyathanda ukuva njengoko uyi-life coach indima yakho ingakumbi ekuqubiseni nemicimbi efana nale eyenzeka ezikolweni ebantwaneni.
Abantwana balahleka ngenxa yokuthi abazali they are so distant. Abazali don't understand abantwana. Abazali badependa kothisha ukuthi benze yonke indima ngabantwana. Kanti uma sibambisana singothisha nabazali ebantwaneni sibanika uthando, we monitor them. You check umntana umthumela esikoleni umnika imali kuphela, but you monitor. Imali doesn't do anything. Monitoring support every day. You support, you talk to your parent, to your learners. Ubabuza ukuthi bantwana bami, what is it that you want? Sometimes umntana ayekho right for your school. Sometimes umntana the subject choices it's not good. That's why they fail. The pass rate it's not going to improve if we don't cooperate, support our students, support othisha nabo, and try to understand our students abantwana bethu ukuthi what is it that you want.
So that was Ukholosa having very pertinent conversations on the ground. And whether you are a parent who is dealing with your child who is a learner that is not yet accepted within the basic education system, or you are a principal that is representing a school where there's so many challenges, whether it's vandalism and violence on the ground. I think as Expressions, all we wanted to do is just make sure that we expose what is currently happening, right now, within the basic education system. We continue with this very important conversation after the break. You're watching Expressions.
Right, mbukeli wami sisuka kwaThema ngoku silapha eLobedium ePretoria njengoko kaloku sijonga ingxobo kaxaka as abantwana bebuyela esikolweni. Now we're going to be meeting with umzali othi naye udikwe yeyokosa lisebe lezemfundo njengoko umntana wakhe esahleli engekabuyela esikolweni kude kubele lixesha. Masihlangane nabo sincokela nabo sive into yokubana bakhala ngantoni. Sikhalela ukuva Mr Bernard intoni enikhala ngayo njengoko usithi umntana kakabuyela esikolweni kutheni nje?
Ngitry ukucelela umntana space la eLodium. Kunama high school out kumele wenze grade 10. So siye ku Himalaya Secondary School. Basitshela ukuthi siku waiting list abana space, they will let us know mabane space. Then sasuka sangena eLodium Secondary School. Kona basitshela right ukuthi akuna space at all. Ngifonele department district ukubacela ukuthi basize. Now basitshela ukuthi at the moment ikolo zabo zigcwele. So umntana wami kwamanje akanendawo la ngamisa khona. So frustration enkulu ngoba neminyaka yakhe yahamba. Bengitry ukuthi mhlambe ngibacele for homeschooling. ngiyapplyile but angikatholi ne-response for now. So kahle kahle si-frustrated asazi ukuthi siqonde kuphi kwenzakaleni.
This is really, really frustrating, especially for you, Kensani, because I mean, at this time of the year, probably, abanye abafundi sele beqhubeka nesifundo, yonke lento ine-impact enjani kuwe, and intoni ongarhalela ukuyibona isenziwa ku-Department of Education?
It is really frustrating, and I really wish that I'd get space in one of the schools, and yeah.
And tata intoni nawe ungathi ungarhalela ukuyibona isenziwa lisebe, because as you are mentioning into yobana kudala uquqa ubuyelela ngapha, you even considering i-homeschooling.
I think into bangayenza ukuthi ba make sure ukuthi for abantwana bala ekhaya ispace bakhona, i-first preference kube abantwana bala ekhaya. So ngoba kaningi uthola ukuthi ikolo sigcwele but abantu abangane space abantu abahlala la ekhaya eMzansi. So ilento lengiyikhalela ukuthi uma bangalungisa lapho then izinto zingahamba kahle ngoba akukho right ukuthi umntana ahlale angafundi, then education i-future yakhe.
We are putting a very important spotlight on the readiness of the basic education system in this country. And the whole question that we want you to get involved in, whether it's on Twitter, on Facebook, whatever social media platform that you are comfortable with, we want to ask you simply this: is the basic education system ready for the 2023 academic year? And there are also other issues such as load shedding. Do you think that we are ready for all those different kinds of challenges? I had an opportunity to go to the Sandton Convention Center, where I got to have an opportunity to speak to various stakeholders around the basic education system, and this is what went down. I want to understand, as Kosas, why was it important for you to be part of this Lekgotla, and what role exactly are you guys playing?
Look, we are a majority stakeholder here. So we are here to represent our constituency. Outside us, nobody will represent learners. As you know, that we are the voice of the voiceless.
As Expressions, we've tried to cover this issue around readiness, across the board. And, our producer was able to go to spaces like Pretoria, Guatemala, just to really find out what's going on the ground. And we're seeing a lot of challenges. The kids are still not placed in their schools, for instance. I mean, sikhuluma ngemama 4IR, modern Toni, but are teachers ready to be able to inculcate that in the teaching methods? I mean, what would you say to just some of those challenges on the ground?
Look, firstly, I'm not the spokesperson of educators. You must ask me about my constituency. My learners are ready, and we hope that educators are ready. Maybe that question must go to SADC, ask that are your members ready? Because of my members are ready. As you can see, they're wearing their school uniform, they're beautiful and handsome. So we're prepared. So we're just waiting for Department of Education and SADC. Look, in terms of the issue of placement, we have parents who are causing us this traffic. Their kids are placed somewhere. They are choosy. They're saying that the school is not good, I want that school. And I can tell you, township schools are doing well. So our parents must appreciate what the government of the ANC is giving them.
But for parents who are saying, and as you're saying, Uti, rightly so, you represent learners, that constituency. But what if a learner says, I don't want to go to that particular school?
I can tell you the ANC is working hard to service our people. But I don't expect to have such schools this time of democracy. It shows that people are feeling dismally. They don't want our kids to have proper education. But I can tell you the ANC, that government is trying by all means. And as scholars will support programs of the ANC if they're positive.
I want to give you the credit to basically just introduce yourself to us and tell us why you are recognized and what accolade you've received.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Ali Mokhalaka. I'm the National Best Teacher Award in South Africa. You find that a learner was into drugs, now I changed their lives, now they are clean. You find that a learner doesn't have food to eat and all that, but they are eating at school, all those kind of things. In other words, we cannot praise a fish for swimming. I cannot be praised for teaching. It's not about teaching in class. I get paid for that. It's the extra things that I do by God's grace in changing somebody's life and make sure that they become very successful in this life. Track their life from when I start with them until they become successful and be employed and make a living.
Basic education, where does it come in? What support are you getting from them? And if there were areas of improvement from their side in terms of supporting teachers, what would those areas be?
Jackie, we have a long list of things that we believe should have been done by now, given the lapse of time in democracy. Talk about ablutions, talk about resourcing of schools, talk about infrastructure, etc. And we are saying, yes, collectively we have failed at this. Maybe we didn't make enough noise, but maybe the department wasn't responsive enough. And now we're sitting with a financial crisis where, with the best intention in the world, there just isn't enough money to go around. The DBE has been responsive. Last year alone, when we look at how much has been done in terms of eradicating the poor ablution facilities. And remember, if a child has a bad ablution facility, a teacher has a bad ablution facility. When we talk about children, we talk about teachers simultaneously. They've done an amazing job. I know under pressure that sometimes you've got to whip people into action with that. But if that is the will that there has been to eradicate, we're on the right path. Now we need to attend to the last remaining mud schools. And then those schools that are constantly being broken down by our communities. For heaven's sake, how does a community break down a school, thrash it, steal, and their own brothers and sisters are at the school?
Ke mbukeli wami siyathemba into yokubana ingxoxo ezifana nezi zizawuzisa isisombululo kwimfundo yalapha eMzantsi Afrika iphucuke. Sisabuza ke apha ekhaya, make sure that you interact with us on social media. Uba ngaba izikolo zikarhulumente zikulungele na kuwo lo nyaka ka-2023. Siyabuya, do not move a muscle.
Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions, your #1 youth current affairs show. We're putting a very important spotlight on the readiness of the basic education system in South Africa for the 2023 academic year. Now, obviously, we've been having various conversations around this particular issue. And of course, Ukolosa had an opportunity to speak to learners who are not able to come into the education system at this particular time, and parents. And I also got to have a conversation with stakeholders as well in the basic education system. I continue this very important conversation speaking to a very important decision maker within the basic education system, talking about the DG of basic education here in South Africa. And this is how the conversation went down. Take a look at this.
You know, our poll question is around the readiness. I mean, do you feel, are you confident that learners for 2023 are ready for this academic year, especially when we are looking at challenges such as load shedding?
Well, we're more than ready. In fact, we prepared towards the end of 2022, the last quarter of the year, which is October, November, December. We spent those months actually preparing for the next academic year. So the system is ready. That's why you get even some of the schools starting even before schools reopen. Some started the first week of January. They were at school. Reopening of schools went relatively smooth, except for pressure points where the demand is very high. Because of the performance of those schools we've seen in Gauteng, they are still dealing with admissions up to now. So the system is ready.
What would you like to say to parents who are frustrated and learners who are demotivated about the fact that, you know, they're not in school and this is probably the most exciting time for them?
If parents were open for their children to go to any school, we wouldn't be experiencing the problems that we have now. All over. It's something that we're talking about even during the tea break with HODs, trying to find out from them as to what are the challenges. The real challenge is accommodating parents' needs. But I can assure them that at the end of the day, our target this time around is that by end of February, all learners should be in class learning. There shouldn't be any child who's still sitting at home. And the responsibility of everyone, including broader civil society, is to create an enabling environment for our children to learn. But my appeal to everyone, broader civil society, parents, leaders in our communities, is that our learners must be in the classroom. Even if there are differences in a school or the community, our priority must be that our children must be in the classroom, because the future belongs to our children.
So, Kolosa, we've come to the end of today's episode. Not only were we able to speak to very important stakeholders, we were able to get to the ground and just really find out what are some of the challenges that are actually experienced, whether it's parents, learners, schools, to just really say, when it comes to the 2023 academic year, are we really ready for it? Were there any key learning points when it came to 2022 that can actually be transferred into 2023? It was a pleasure for me, to speak to, the teacher of the year, the DG. I mean, to really speak to, individuals that are invested when it comes to the basic education system in this year. When it comes to the readiness, are we ready? I don't know, Kolosa. Are we? I don't know.
Hey, but we are a resilient nation. We are going to conquer this. Right, Mugeli say kanjalo expressions kodwa asikushiyi wedwa DK with ingoma yabo ethi sizawuphumelela bangqangile. DK, the stage is yours.
Absolutely. Bye. See you next week. Bye.
I've been living down with my niggas every day until we make it. And I'ma ride or die every day with my niggas till we make it. You know we been struggling, just trying to get it. You know that we love it, found us how we live it. Music's in our blood, you know we gotta give it, we gotta give it. I've been living down with my niggas every day until we make it. And I'ma ride or die every day with my niggas till we make it. You know we been struggling, just trying to get it. You know that we love it, found us how we live it. Music's in our blood, you know we gotta give it, we gotta give it, we gotta give it.
First of all, RIP to the COVID victims. Shout out to the single fathers when the mother's missing. Laughing needs a teamwork, not a competition. I need a fresh start, a fresh in my brain vision. Every what you have, that's why they're tearing you apart. Feeding you drugs, so my people you self-destruct. Looking in the mirror, ask yourself who you are. How you a ordinary person, you a superstar, but you extraordinary. Big gang and Jovugas, but then at the age of 18, back in fast. Baba Magatagi, Mama Mela Pumikas. These things I say to niggas. His face in Jalong Papalas. A leader's not a leader when he leads alone. Real success, help others reach the throne. Every time I'm with my daughter on a distant phone, I got a clear view, a clear mind, they go drone. Whatever I'm facing, for my kids I'ma break it, I'm pacing. Even though the game got me caged in, each and every action I take it, I'm always praying. I got a Marvin on this one, my people we gon'
I will live it down with my niggas every day until we make it. I'ma ride or die every day with my niggas till we make it. You know we been struggling, just trying to get it. You know that we love it, found us how we live it. Music's in our blood, you know we gotta give it, we gotta give it.